You know, there's nothing quite like a landscape photography adventure in the camper. It's been a while.
It's 7 p.m. I've had 3 hours of sleep, and I do have a face like the acute tonsillitis of a sickly child. But I'm in a really good mood because we're in the Hardcastle Hilton for the first trip of the year, and we've had an upgrade.
More juice.
Yes, we have got more juice. Yeah, we've had an upgrade, so thank you to Bluetti for sponsoring this video. They sent me this power bank. This is the Elite 200 Volume 2. Every landscape photographer needs something like this, a power bank, whether you've got a full-blown coach class RV or a small little camper like this, or maybe you're just doing stuff out of your car. When you're traveling and you're doing overnights, you have to have something to power all of your gadgetry, and this is more than enough. I've got all of my gear powered up. I've got my drone, my 3 batteries, both of my cameras and my laptop fully charged, and it was pretty quick. Let me show you what we've got. You've got 4 AC outputs for things like laptops, that kind of stuff. And then you've got 4 USB outputs. You've got 2 USB-A and 2 USB-C. And in total, you get just over 2,000 watts of juice. But you know what, love? It's all well and good that it can power all of these photography gadgets. But I'm in for a late night of photography. I'm going to be quite hungry. So what should we do?
Make some coffee first.
How about breakfast for dinner?
Ooh, that sounds good. Like a full English.
Maybe a full English. Well, we'll see. I don't know if it can cope with a full English, but we'll give it a go. All right, first things first, let's grind some coffee beans. Put this thing on. All right, that's the coffee grounds done to perfection. Let's move this over to the kitchen and do some cooking.
So we drop the coffee grounds in the coffee maker, plug the bugger in, and then switch it on and wait for that gorgeous aroma to begin. Then it's sausages on the griddle.
So we've got the sausages going on the hot plate, which is plugged into the Bluetti, and at the same time we've got the coffee maker plugged in, going as well. When we're ready, we're going to plug in the toaster.
And then it was bacon o'clock, but there didn't seem to be much.
Where's your bacon?
Oh, there. Where's yours?
There's only enough bacon for me there. I don't know where yours is. It better not be that maple rubbish.
Nope. Bacon.
Normal.
Well, the cooking seemed to be going well. Let's check in on the power consumption. Just over 1,400 watts going out.
Right, let's get some eggs going. Let's drop these in just on the end here. Oh God. It's going to spill over. Oh, that one's yours. Right, so now we've got the hot plate almost done. I think that's almost finished. The coffee's on. Let's plug in this toaster all at the same time and see if it can handle it. And then, okay. I might have burnt the tomatoes a little bit, but whatever. Eggs look a little bit silly because we're on a slant here. This is not even remotely level, so the eggs are going to be a bit crap, look. Now let's see how this toaster's doing. Is it working?
Yeah.
Yep, I can smell burnt plastic.
Now maybe next time we'll include baked beans, but you will never see fried mushrooms on my channel because they look like foreskins. Alright, so I'm very impressed to say that the Bluetti managed to absolutely do a blinding job of cooking a full English breakfast with the skillet going, the coffee maker and the toaster all going at the same time. So let's see. So if we look at what we've consumed in power, it's actually gone down quite a bit from when we started. So it did use up a lot of juice, but of course it did. What do you expect? And I do have a solar panel for this, which I tested out the other day. So when I first got this, straight out of the box, it was charged up to 31%. So I put it outside in the sun with the solar panel. I only put it out there in the afternoon under bright sunlight for about 4 or 5 hours, and I think that got it up to about 53%, which doesn't sound like much of an increase, but when you consider that this has a capacity of over 2,000 watts, that's actually quite a lot of juice for just a few hours in the sun. And then I brought it in the house and plugged it into the wall, and it went up to 100% in no time. Well, I would say that that was a major success. The Elite 200 version 2 is on sale until the end of July, and you can get 5% off with this coupon code. There's a link in the description. Oh look, a food coma.
Right, should we get cleared up and then I'm going to enjoy a nice sweet dessert.
Can I have some?
No, it's just for people that can eat gluten.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just eat this sausage now then.
That was filthy, and you know it. Quadratini dark chocolate wafers. Oh, I'm already 50% happier.
Are they good?
They're all right. You probably wouldn't like them. No, there's wafers in there. You'll end up shitting your pants. No?
I just licked it.
The tide's in. There's no clouds, so I can't get a shot now. So yeah, wait till about 10 o'clock when it's fully dark, and I'm going to get down on the beach, see if I can get a Milky Way shot.
I will most likely be sleeping.
What's new?
She wasn't joking. She's basically a cat.
You getting cozy in there?
Oh, so cozy.
I'm going to come and join you then.
So I estimate that it won't get dark properly, fully dark, for about 2 more hours, and then I'll go out. But the question is, will I be able to stay awake until 10 o'clock? Good night.
See you later.
Oh, it's still light. What are we going to do for 2 hours? Oh, read a copy of Chasing All.
Where's my earplugs?
Butt plugs.
Earplugs.
Oh, hey, I'm actually going to read my book then. What else am I going to do, you know? Read my book and then get out on the beach.
Okay.
All right.
No.
Good night. Well, of course, I didn't get a wink of sleep. I mean, how could I with a book that exciting? So once it was fully dark, I left the comfort of the camper, grabbed my camera bag and my tripod, and headed towards a deep, dark hole.
Alright, so the plan is to just slide down that dark hole there, into the darkness, and down onto those boulders, and onto the sand. It's only about 40-50 feet, it's not that bad. But doing it in the dark is not fun, so I'm not going to try and film myself doing this in the dark, so I'll see you in 2 minutes, hopefully.
Well, I went down, set up the camera, went back up, then filmed myself coming back down. Storytelling, innit?
Well, I tell you what, it's an absolutely beautiful night here out in Five Islands. The wind has gone, it's completely calm. There's not a cloud in the sky, and there are just so many stars. It's really beautiful, and of course I'm in the Bay of Fundy, so you've got to be really careful with the tide. So I've checked the tide, but it's not too bad here anyway, because you can kind of see it coming. It doesn't surprise you, so I should be okay in terms of the tide. So I'm just going to walk down the beach about 5 minutes till I get to this big sea stack with an arch in it, and then hopefully I can frame up a nice composition. Alright, so it's just gone about 11:15, and I've messed up with my timing. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking that the Milky Way would pop up around about 11, but that would be late June. Right now it's about 2:30 a.m. before you see the galactic core pop up over the horizon, and it's frustrating because it's lined up perfectly with this massive sea stack, which you might remember that I shot last year. So I figured it's not going to pop up until high tide, so I don't know if I can even physically be here when that galactic core pops up unless I'm swimming, so I might not get me shot. So I thought what I would do is some Star Trails shots, and I'll show you the shot that I just got. My tripod and camera is casting a huge shadow over there because about 500 feet behind me is a big street light. So I don't know if that is going to work, but I think what I'll try and do is go vertical so that you don't see that. I'll crop that out by going vertical, and then that will give me a bit more space for the star trails. But the star trails pattern isn't fantastic. It's just kind of going across like that because I'm facing south. So what I might do is go to the other side, look through this hole towards where I'm standing right now, and shoot north. Because if you know anything about star trail photography, you know that facing north will give you that massive, ginormous, dramatic swirl. But then sometimes I like this kind of look too. The shape and the pattern of the stars, it really depends on what you put in front of it as to whether or not it will work. So this might work, but I think looking north is going to be a bit dramatic. So I'll try that, and then by then, maybe the Milky Way's popped up and I'm not drowning, swimming back. That's what I've got to keep an eye on. So anyway, let's give this a try. Well, that totally did not work out. Just everything about it was terrible. I'll show you the shot. This is my test shot. I didn't like it. So I've decided to try a different shot. I'm going to try and do something else, something a little bit more fun, where I just walk into a shot with me betwixt two sea stacks. Might take a bit of experimentation, but we'll see. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing like a 35-second exposure of me just walking off into the distance. It'll probably be total crap. It's years since I've done this kind of stuff. This used to be my thing. I used to do this stuff all the time, but I'm getting a bit rusty, so you know, I think I'd get back into it, but it's a bit of trial and error before I get my mojo back. But alright, that's enough. I'll walk back and just see how crap this shot is. I mean, I'm sure it's a 2 out of 10, if that.
But after a few tests, I was actually getting inspired by my Star Trails selfie idea. So I decided to refine my composition and commit to trying to capture this shot for reals.
Alright, so it's 20 past midnight and I'm trying to shoot on my Hasselblad, trying to shoot a 1 hour exposure of the stars, doing a star trail shot facing north, and my test shot actually looked pretty good. Here's the test shot, and I think that was about 15 minutes, I can't remember, but I quite like the star trails on that, so I thought I'd do an hour long one, which I set off about 10 minutes ago, but I might have to leave because I can hear the tide coming back in. It just creeps in, but where there was no sound, now there is a sound of the waves just gently creeping in. So I've got to get out here before that tide comes all the way, because that could be quite dangerous. Anyway, so while I'm waiting for this Hasselblad, I'm here with, this is the Sony here, and I'm just taking a picture of my camera, taking a picture of the stars, and it's quite an interesting little shot, is that? Not my usual kind of thing, but I'm having to be really careful with the amount of light that I make, because I could ruin my shot if I just splash with my headlamp, but we'll see. The sound of that, I think I'm probably going to have to cut this short, and I'll be lucky if I end up with a half-hour exposure, but that actually might do the job. And if it does, here's a shot.
So to create this finished image, I blended 2 exposures, one that was a really long exposure for the star trails, and then another one at 32 seconds for the selfie. There's nothing quite like a bow-legged cyclops selfie under the stars.
And this just goes to show that when you show up with terrible planning and completely wrong information, you have to adapt. You know, that shot that I wanted to get when I first arrived, well, it wasn't going to happen, was it? Because I had piss poor planning. But I think I managed to adapt, try something totally different, and I think in the end, I probably got a better shot than the one that I planned to get. Anyway, the tide is getting dangerously close right now, so it is time for me to hoof it back to the camper, get to bed, try and have 15 minutes of kip, and then get back up and shoot sunrise. Oh, it's the best job in the world, it really is. Right, I'm back in the camper. It's 1 AM. How are you doing, love? What were you worried about?
Yeah, where are you?
On the beach.
Glad you're back.
I'm glad I'm back. The tide chased me out though.
Really?
Yeah.
Early?
Like no, right, it was round about on schedule. It wasn't alarming, but it was definitely something you got to pay attention to. I'm in the mood for bacon and eggs. If you could sort that out.
All signs point to no.
That's what I thought. It was worth a try. All right, I'm going to try and get a few hours of Kipperton, and then I shall be back up on the beach in probably what feels like 15 minutes. Well, it's 8 a.m. and naturally I've slept through sunrise, of course, because I did get 4 hours of sleep, but I still have a face like a bag of blunt chisels. And are you ready for our next destination, love?
Where's that?
Scotland.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Yeah, we're off to Scotland to see my mum.
Really?
Yeah.
When?
Now.
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm not even packed.
You got the jet boil, that's all you need, love. And your dressing gown.
Are we driving there?
Well, yeah, I went to the airport.
Why didn't you tell me?
I just did.
I don't even have my passport.
No, but I do.
Huh?
Now, would you like some quadratini, love?
Nah.
Not sponsored.
I'm all right, thanks.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I've already been in the bathroom twice this morning.
Explosive diarrhea, never mind. But no, in all seriousness, we're going to go home now, but our next trip is Edinburgh to see Mum and Roy.
Yay!
While I'm there, I might meet up with some other landscape photographers that you might know here on YouTube.
I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters shown here. You really do make it possible for me to keep this channel going. And if anyone's interested in my monthly critique sessions on Patreon, there's a link in the description if you're interested.